You wake up already empty. Before the day even starts, you feel like it's already over. Your body moves, but there's no strength behind it. Just habit, just weight. Every breath feels borrowed. Every thought feels slow. Like you've been carrying something too heavy for far too long, and now it's crushing you from the inside. There's no anger left, no fire, just a quiet, sinking exhaustion that tells you you don't have much of yourself remaining. This isn't sadness that comes and goes. This is the kind that stays, the kind that turns mornings gray and nights endless. You don't feel defeated in a dramatic way. You feel worn down, spent, like something essential has finally run out. You still get up, you still function, but inside, it feels like the last door already closed. At some point, you stopped expecting relief. You stopped believing rest would fix anything. You stopped thinking tomorrow would feel different. Not because you're pessimistic, because experience taught you better. People think collapse looks violent. They're wrong. Collapse is quiet. Collapse is when nothing hurts sharply anymore, because everything hurts all at once. Collapse is when you're too tired to even react. You don't remember when hope faded. There was no announcement, no clear ending. It just slowly disappeared as you kept forcing yourself forward. Long after your mind asked you to stop, you learned how to survive exhaustion. You learned how to function while hollow. You learned how to look composed while everything inside you sagged under the weight. And people believed it. They look at you and see control. They see discipline. They see someone who handles things well. They don't see the internal drag. They don't see how every small task costs more than it should. They don't see how close you are to simply having nothing left to give. This armor you wear isn't strength. It's survival packaging. It's the thin structure keeping everything from collapsing outward. Because once it shows, once the cracks are visible, the world doesn't get gentler. So you hold it together, even when it's killing the last quiet parts of you. They talk about pain like it's meaningful, like it's supposed to transform you, like it's temporary. They've never lived with pain that becomes background noise, pain that blends into your identity, pain that doesn't ask for attention. It just stays. It lives in your chest, in your posture, in the way you exhale. You didn't fall suddenly. You adapted slowly. You kept adjusting to things that were never meant to be normal. You kept accepting weight that should have crushed you long ago. And now you're here, not fighting, not rising, just standing at the lowest point, where nothing feels dramatic anymore. There's no panic here, no tears, just a heavy awareness. No one is coming. Not because you don't matter, not because you failed, but because that's how this works. There is no moment where someone finally understands the cost of what you've been carrying. No perfect timing, no rescue. If you fall now, there is no safety net waiting. And that realization doesn't shatter you, it drains you. It removes the last expectation you didn't even realize was still keeping you going. You stop waiting, you stop hoping, you stop asking the world to soften. What replaces that isn't comfort, it's clarity. A cold, quiet clarity that settles in your bones and changes how you see everything. You don't move forward because you believe it gets better. You move forward because this is the final point before everything dissolves completely, and you refuse to let it end without choosing what remains. You are exhausted beyond explanation, not tired, not burned out, exhausted in a way that reaches your sense of self, your ability to feel joy cleanly, your ability to care without pain attached. Some days you don't feel alive. You feel operational. You go through motion that once had meaning. You speak when required. You respond when expected. But inside, everything feels muted. And still, you stand. You don't need saving. You don't need reassurance. You don't need understanding. You need to decide what grows out of this emptiness, because pain like this doesn't leave you unchanged. It either erodes you slowly or hardens you into something exact, something quiet, something restrained, something that no longer expects mercy. You've already lost too much to pretend this is temporary. You've already learned what relying on the outside costs. So you stop asking for meaning. You stop asking for relief. You stop asking why. And in that absence, something stabilizes. Not happiness, not peace, control. A cold internal control. Control born from understanding that nothing is coming to save you. This is the moment before collapse. Not because you're about to fall, but because something old has finally reached its end. And what comes next won't announce itself, won't explain, won't seek permission. It will move slowly, silently, with nothing left to protect and nothing left to lose. If this is the bottom, then this is where fragility dies. Not because you healed, but because exhaustion, but because Umporan has stripped everything unnecessary away.